And joining me now is Curtin University's Dean of Global Future, Joe Siracusa. Joe, thanks so much for your time. Blizzards have put a bit of a dampener on things across the US state of Iowa ahead of today's caucus because of the weather. Former President Trump cancelled the in-person events. Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis were out speaking to voters, but the final polls, they don't look good for them against Donald Trump at the moment.
Good morning, Kenny. Look, don't let the cold and the snow fool you. Iowans are very hardy people, and they're Midwesterners. We lived through all those kinds of winter year after year. Look, Donald Trump is doing wonderfully there. In 2016, he nearly lost, well, he barely lost to Senator Cruz, and I think Senator Rubio was on the other side of him. And this year it's a different team. You know, he's up against Nikki Haley, a woman he actually took from South Carolina and put in the United Nations. And he's up against Ron DeSantis, who first sidled up to President Trump, and then he broke away. So, you know, the president is about 28, 30 percentage points ahead of these people. He's going to win. And what's at stake here is this. The president is very, you know, as soon as he wins this one, or when he wins this one, he's on the way to becoming the presumptive nominee of the Republican Party. And that's when that opens all the money. The Republican Party can tap into the money that he raises and the money that they raise. He can tap into. I mean, you know, people who don't even like Trump, who are Republicans, have to agree that they want to get their hands on that money to campaign for themselves. In any case, Iowans get to decide, and there are 100,000 more Iowans voting this time than they did in 2020, as a matter of fact. And, you know, a lot of these are MAGA supporters. Now, when I say MAGA, they're Republican supporters. I mean, they're not all kind of crazy people that you expect on the right. But Trump's doing pretty well, and he hasn't shown up too often in Iowa. As you know, he's too busy running from courtroom to courtroom. So you may ask yourself, how does a man who's in so much damn trouble get so much support? I'll tell you what, that is the $64,000 question. Americans, a lot of his supporters believe in him, despite the mounting evidence that he may be worn out or detained in other places. And as I've said on your show and other shows plenty of times, he can run the presidency from jail because there's no prohibition in the United States Constitution for that. So anyway, he's beginning to stitch up his right to run for presidency. Joe Biden's in terrible shape. He only has a 33% approval rating, which is 66% don't approve of them. 78% don't want him to see him go. So that may change. There may be a lot of drama on the other side. But in the meantime, this is the first important primary, and it sets the tone for all the rest.
Yeah, well, it's certainly a lot to look at overnight tonight. Joe Siracusa, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Talk soon.